Dancing at the Museum programme. Today we're looking at children paddling at Walberswick, painted in 1894 by Philip Wilson Steer. We're going to take the next 6 minutes to do the relaxation together, and then we will look at the painting. This is how we always start our sessions after we've all said hello to one another and checked in and see how we all are. We sit in a chair and we take 5 minutes to relax, to put some very gentle music on and arrive into our bodies, arrive into perhaps moving a little bit more slowly than usual, letting our busy minds still a little bit, and preparing ourselves to look at the paintings in an embodied way. So, take a moment to make sure you're sitting comfortably. Make sure there's nothing that's in the way around your feet or on your lap. For this first bit, it might be nice just to take your glasses off and put them somewhere near, so that you can find them again easily when we finish the relaxation. And remember, this time is for you. This is for you to enjoy, to relax, and we're going to do it together. So here we go. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to take the next 4 minutes to sit comfortably, to relax before we begin to look at our painting today. And there's no right way of doing this or wrong way. It's simply about enjoying, relaxing, enjoying the music, taking the moment to slow down. So make sure your back is supported by the chair. Make sure both feet are resting on the ground. And bring your hands to your lap, one hand on each thigh. So very slowly we're going to begin to move our hands along our thighs, keeping the bones of the fingers in contact with the bones of the thighs. Bringing your hands towards you and then slowly stroking your hands away. This is really good for helping ourselves relax. Letting your breath come gently, easily. See if you can bring your hands to a stop. And just take a bit of movement into your fingers, as if you're playing the piano very slowly. And just take that bit of movement into your wrists, not really thinking about it, just letting your wrists and your hands move to the music. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. Do whatever feels comfortable. Lovely. And then we're going to take our elbows, lifting them up at the sides slowly and stretching out our arms. Reaching out to either side of us, just letting our breath come gently, softly, bringing the hands back down to the lap. And we're going to do that again. Lifting our elbows out to the side, floating them up, and then stretching out the arms. That's it. And then slowly bringing our hands back to our laps. We're going to take one hand and let that hand float up, slowly like a feather, reaching high above us, or as high as feels comfortable. And then again, floating that hand back down to onto your lap, and the other hand floats up, reaching as far above as you can go, perhaps reaching for the sky. Bringing that hand back down again, softly, gently. Bring both your hands together and just give them a slow, soft rub. And then bring the palms of your hands to your eyes. Rest your eye sockets right into your hands as if you're leaning forward into a warm nest. And taking your fingertips, begin to massage your forehead. Softly feeling the bones of the face. And then taking your fingers to the temples of the face and finding the cheekbones. And then moving the fingers along down to the jawbone. And slowly bringing those hands down along the front of the throat, down towards the heart. Just resting both hands over the heart for a moment. And then continuing with the hands down over the belly, right back to where we began. Hands in the lap. Shoulders relaxed. Just bring your shoulders for one final movement, back up to your ears, and then relax them back down. Lovely. Let your breath come slowly, easily, and rest. And when you're ready, we're going to open our eyes and we're going to begin to look at our first painting. We'd like to remind you to turn off your phone and to settle yourself in a comfortable position. Take the time to ensure nothing is in the way of you sitting or lying comfortably. All you need to do now is follow along, join in, and enjoy. You may have a printed copy of the painting near you, on your lap, or you may be looking at the painting on a screen. Make sure you can see the painting well and make sure you are comfortable. So enjoy this first moment of looking at the painting. What do you first see? What do you really notice? What catches your attention? Have you seen this painting before, or is it entirely new to you? It's good to remember that the painter is always telling us a story and has probably gone to great lengths to capture the story. There will be something the painter really wants you to notice. So let's take another step towards looking more fully and noticing more. We like to start in the top left-hand corner of the painting and see if we can allow our eyes to slowly move across the painting from the left to the right, just taking in the colours, the shapes, the forms in the sky. And in your own time, moving your gaze slowly down the painting towards the sea, taking in the changes of colours and light. Look at how the artist has added sparkles of light to the water. And look at how the colours in the sea change with the reflections of objects and people in the water. Notice now the shapes of the land and how the artist has used light and shade to create a sense that some things in the painting are close to us and others are far in the distance. Notice how he has applied the paint to create texture, smooth and some rough. What time of the day do you think the painting portrays? And which season has been captured in this painting? Is this a familiar scene to you? Have you been to Walberswick? That kind of gives away which country the painting was done in. What do we see in the background? What do the shapes suggest to us? Let's take a look at the clothes that people, the children, are wearing in the foreground. What era do you think they are from? And how very differently they are dressed from clothes we might go to the beach in today. Would your grandparents have been familiar with their outfits? So imagine now you have just walked into this painting. How does the beach feel under your feet? Is it sandy or stony, pebbly? Can you feel the pebbles under your toes? Is it hot or cool? What does the air feel like? What can you smell? What can you hear? Now, if you like, we could take a paddle, making sure our clothes don't get wet. And is the water cool and fresh on our toes, our ankles, or is it warm? And does the sparkling light dancing on the sea make you squint your eyes and reach for a floppy sun hat? Imagine who you might be at the beach with, and how old might you be? So let's just think about the qualities of this painting. And how do you feel about it? Do you like it? Is it comfortable to look at this painting? Does it bring back memories? Do you remember visits to the seaside? Do you remember your first visit to the seaside? And we always like to think about, how would we describe this painting? How would we describe it to someone who has never seen it? And finally, would you take this painting home with you? And where would you put it? So, Children Paddling at Walberswick was painted by Philip Wilson Steer, who was born in 1860 and lived till 1942. The painting was made in 1894. Steer made many visits to Walberswick, which is near Southwold in Suffolk, in the summers between 1884 and 1891. He completed a number of paintings of this beach and the surrounding area. His sea and landscape paintings of this period made him a leading figure in the Impressionist movement in Britain. They are fluidly painted, recording a snapshot in time, and they concentrate on the effects of light and atmosphere. Steer's father was a portrait painter and art teacher, and Steer studied at a number of art establishments. He was rejected by the Royal Academy of Art, and so between 1882 and 1884 he studied in Paris at the École des Beaux-Arts, where he was greatly influenced by seeing the paintings of the French Impressionists, such as Monet, Sisley and Renoir. In 1893, Steer was appointed a professor of painting at the Slade School of Art in London, and he taught there until 1930. He would go on to influence a younger generation of artists, including Augusta Straughn, Anna Airy, William Orpin, Stanley Spencer and Paul Nash. During the First World War, Steer was recruited by the British War Memorial Committee to paint images recording the Royal Navy at Dover. Anna Airy was one of the first women commissioned as a war artist, and both Stanley Spencer and Paul Nash were commissioned war artists, all of them students of Steer. Good to have another painting familiar to us. Good to have moved a little. Good to have listened and relaxed to music. Thank you.